So you've been
room.
listening to DA Nathan Hochman, and we also stuck around for some of the questions and answers there for their decision regarding resentencing and their request to the judge, which we talked briefly about a moment ago with Josh Ritter. But Josh, I want to go back to some of the theme here. He talked about so many different stories, so many different things that the brothers had said, 16 lies that they've still not acknowledged. My question is, in criminal proceedings, people change their story all the time once they've been convicted. Where does that fall into the legal perspective? This part about this sentencing hearing or resentencing hearing, March 2021, so they've changed their story. People do that all the time. And when do we believe them, when do we don't, and how is it legal or illegal?
Yeah, that's really interesting because he's focused here on what are the factors that should be considered in now resentencing them, taking a look back. You're right. People are allowed to make whatever defense they want. They can put forward whatever story they want at trial. But if you are now asking us to reconsider and overturn a jury verdict, there's certain factors we're going to look at. And that's why he talked a lot about Sirhan and the precedent being set in that case and his lack of accepting responsibility, the full insight into the actions that he had taken and highlighting that. Listen, we had looked at cases very similar to this before, and that's where the problem lied. He feels that same problem exists in this case, and that's why he's asking them with this challenge, essentially, to go ahead and admit that you've been lying for this long.
It's almost like he's saying, look, this is your pathway to being released. You need to accept guilt and responsibility. And as you mentioned, reach that full insight for your actions. So in your opinion, do you think he's saying, do this and you might be able to get out of prison?
Not even my opinion. It sounds like that's exactly what he is saying. It was really interesting because he's not saying, listen, we've taken a look and we've completely foreclosed any possibility of them ever getting out. He's saying if they are willing to come clean, essentially, after all this time, I've outlined even 16 areas where you've lied and we can prove it. If you're willing to come clean about that, be honest about it, show full insight into your actions and take full responsibility, then we'll take another look at this. I thought that was very interesting because now it's kind of ball in their court. What do they want to do with it as the brothers? Do they want to actually accept this challenge?
Well, one of the things that we also heard, one of the brief questions you might not have heard, it was about a Marcy's Law brief that has been filed with the U.S. Attorney's Office where they are saying that Hochman has violated their civil rights. There are people, the opposing counsel has said there's bias, or actually family says there's bias on Hochman's part. But this entire news conference today seemed to me to be devoid of that. He really acknowledged many of the defenses, many of the Menendez family's positions as he laid out why he's pulling back on this resentencing. It seemed to me, it was very measured the way he laid this out. It didn't seem as if there was much bias at all.
No, he took great pains to say, I am bound by the facts and I'm bound by the law. And that's why we took, I mean, they went back and looked at, I think he said 50,000 pages worth of trial documents. They went back and really did their homework in coming to this conclusion and didn't just lay it out there in a brief, couple of pages. We're opposing this. We're withdrawing. We don't have the same position as the prior DA. 87 pages worth of explaining exactly why they feel this way about this case. I understand the family. They've had a complete 180 pulled on them since last November. It looked like the tide was in their favor. And now things have definitely changed.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more great ABC7 content by clicking the subscribe button for our YouTube channel and download the ABC7 Los Angeles streaming app on Fire TV, Android TV, Apple TV, and Roku to watch on your TV.